Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A period of time spent in military service. A journey or route all the way around a particular place or area. They took an extended tour of Europe. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. Make a tour of a certain place. We toured the Provence this summer. A period of time spent in military service. A period of time spent in military service. The act of enlisting, as in a military service. A period of time spent in military service. An unforeseen obstacle. The state of inactivity following an interruption. To hook or entangle. The uneven manner of walking that results from an injured leg. Walk impeded by some physical limitation or injury. Jump vertically, with legs stiff and back arched. Travel by getting free rides from motorists. Any obstruction that impedes or is burdensome. A connection between a vehicle and the load that it pulls. A knot that can be undone by pulling against the strain that holds it, a temporary knot. Connect to a vehicle. Hitch the trailer to the car. A period of time spent in military service. A period of time spent in military service. An electrical device that provides a path for electrical current to flow. A journey or route all the way around a particular place or area. We took a quick circuit of the park. A racetrack for automobile races. Movement once around a course. The boundary line encompassing an area or object. An established itinerary of venues or events that a particular group of people travel to. She's a familiar name on the club circuit. Law. A judicial division of a state or the United States, so called because originally judges traveled and held court in different locations, one of the 12 groups of states in the United States that is covered by a particular circuit court of appeals. Make a circuit. They were circuiting about the state. Follow a certain course. How did your interview go? Have a particular form. As the saying goes. Move away from a place into another direction. Perform as expected when applied. The washing machine won't go unless it's plugged in. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. How fast does your new car go? Be in the right place or situation. Let's put healthcare where it belongs, under the control of the government. A usually brief attempt. A board game for two players who place counters on a grid. The object is to surround and so capture the opponent's counters. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. Make a certain noise or sound. Lead, extend, or afford access. This door goes to the basement. Street names for methylenedioxymethamphetamine. Continue to live and avoid dying. Begin or set in motion. Ready, set, go. Stop operating or functioning. To be spent or finished. The money had gone after a few days. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. It's my go. Blend or harmonize. This sofa won't go with the chairs. Go through in search of something. Search through someone's belongings in an unauthorized way. Enter or assume a certain state or condition. Get going. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Can I go now? Give support to, or make a choice of, one out of a group or number. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. His knowledge doesn't go very far. Follow a procedure or take a course. We should go farther in this matter. Be the right size or shape. Fit correctly or as desired. Progress by being changed. The speech has to go through several more drafts. Be abolished or discarded. These ugly billboards have to go. Be or continue to be in a certain condition. Be ranked or compare. This violinist is as good as Juilliard-trained violinists go. Be spent. Functioning correctly and ready for action. All systems are go. Pass, fair, or elapse, of a certain state of affairs or action. How is it going? Indicate or signify. I'm afraid this spells trouble. A verbal formula believed to have magical force. He whispered a spell as he moved his hands. Write or name the letters that comprise the conventionally accepted form of a word or part of a word. He spelled the word wrong in this letter. A psychological state induced by, or as if induced by, a magical incantation. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. A spell of work. A period of indeterminate length, usually short, marked by some action or condition. A spell of good weather. Orally recite the letters of or give the spelling of. How do you spell this word? Place under a spell. Relieve someone from work by taking a turn. She spelled her husband at the wheel. Take turns working. The workers spell every 4 hours. To break and turn over earth, especially with a plow. Turn the earth in the spring. Twist suddenly so as to sprain. I turned my ankle and couldn't walk for several days. Pass into a condition gradually, take on a specific property or attribute, become. The weather turned nasty. Cause to move around a center so as to show another side of. Turn a page of a book. Undergo a change or development. The water turned into ice. Let something fall or spill from a container. Turn the flour onto a plate. Cause a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. The strong man could turn an iron bar. Undergo a transformation or a change of position or action. We turned from socialism to capitalism. Pass to the other side of. Turn the corner. Have recourse to or make an appeal or request for help or information to. She turned to her relatives for help. Turning or twisting around, in place. A favor for someone. He did me a good turn. change to the contrary. The tides turned against him. Game. The activity of doing something in an agreed succession. It is my turn. A short performance that is part of a longer program. A circular segment of a curve. Sports. A division during which one team is on the offensive. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. A movement in a new direction. The turning of the wind. An unforeseen development. Events suddenly took an awkward turn. The act of changing or reversing the direction of the course. He took a turn to the right. Go sour or spoil. The cream has turned, we have to throw it out. Accomplish by rotating. Turn a somersault. Alter the functioning or setting of. Turn the dial to 10. Become officially 1 year older. She is turning 50 this year. Cause to change or turn into something different. Assume new characteristics. The princess turned the frog into a prince by kissing him. Cause to move along an axis or into a new direction. Turn your face to the wall. Cause to move around or rotate. Turn a key. Change color. In Vermont, the leaves turn early. Change orientation or direction, also in the abstract sense. The mugger turned and fled before I could see his face. Channel one's attention, interest, thought, or attention toward or away from something. The pedophile turned to boys for satisfaction. Direct at someone. She turned a smile on me. Get by buying and selling. The company turned a good profit after a year. Move around an axis or a center. The wheels are turning. Shape by rotating on a lathe or cutting device or a wheel. Turn the legs of the table. Taking a short walk out and back. We took a turn in the park. The act of turning away or in the opposite direction. He made an abrupt turn away from her. To send or let go. They turned away the crowd at the gate of the governor's mansion. An amount of time. A time period of 30 years. An amount of time. A time period of 30 years. The monthly discharge of blood from the uterus of non-pregnant women from puberty to menopause. A unit of geological time during which a system of rocks formed. Ganoid fishes swarmed during the earlier geological periods. A punctuation mark, placed at the end of a declarative sentence to indicate a full stop or after abbreviations. In England they call a period a stop. Ice hockey, one of 3 divisions into which play is divided in hockey games. The end or completion of something. Death put a period to his endeavors. The interval taken to complete one cycle of a regularly repeating phenomenon. An amount of time. Hastened the period of time of his recovery. The act of traveling from one place to another. Travel upon or across. Undertake a journey or trip. The act of traveling from one place to another. The time period during which you are at work. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. The act of changing one thing or position for another. Move sideways or in an unsteady way. Move around. Change place or direction. The time period during which you were at work. Geology. A crack in the Earth's crust resulting from the displacement of one side with respect to the other. Make a shift in or exchange of. Move abruptly. A loose-fitting dress hanging straight from the shoulders without a waist. An event in which something is displaced without rotation. The key on the typewriter keyboard that shifts from lowercase letters to uppercase letters. The act of moving from one place to another. His constant shifting disrupted the class. A qualitative change. Move very slightly. He shifted in his seat. A woman's sleeveless undergarment. A crew of workers who work for a specific period of time. Change gears. You have to shift when you go down a steep hill. Change in quality. His tone shifted. Change phonetically as part of a systematic historical change. Grimm showed how the consonants shifted. Move in exchange for another. Shift the date for our class reunion. Move from one setting or context to another. Shift the emphasis. Use a shift key on a keyboard. She could not shift, so all her letters are written in lowercase. The time period during which you were at work. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. We traveled from Rome to Naples by bus. Travel upon or across. Travel the oceans. Undertake a journey or trip. A movement through space that changes the location of something. Self-propelled movement. Make a trip for pleasure. The act of going from one place to another. He enjoyed selling, but he hated the travel. Travel from place to place, as for the purpose of finding work, preaching, or acting as a judge. Undergo transportation as in a vehicle. We traveled north on Route 508. An extended cultural tour of Europe taken by wealthy young Englishmen, especially in the 18th century, as part of their education. A sightseeing tour of a building or institution. Journeying from place to place, preaching or lecturing. A preaching tour or lecturing tour. A tour arranged by a travel agent. Transportation and food and lodging are all provided at an inclusive price. A tour arranged by a travel agent. Transportation and food and lodging are all provided at an inclusive price. A public stroll by a celebrity to meet people informally. A walking trip or tour. Nomadic excursions into the bush made by an aborigine. A tour by a candidate as part of a political campaign in which a series of small towns are visited. In 1948, Truman crossed the country several times on his whistle-stop tours. A tour of bars or public houses, usually taking one drink at each stop. Take charge of or deal with. Could you see about lunch? Make sense of. Assign a meaning to. What message do you see in this letter? Go to see a place, as for entertainment. We went to see the Eiffel Tower in the morning. See or watch. This program will be seen all over the world. Get to know or become aware of, usually accidentally. I see that you have been promoted. Date regularly. Have a steady relationship with. Did you know that she is seeing an older man? Find out, learn, or determine with certainty, usually by making an inquiry or other effort. I want to see whether she speaks French. Perceive or be contemporaneous with. You'll see a lot of cheating in this school. Undergo or live through a difficult experience. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Come together. I'll probably see you at the meeting. Accompany or escort. I'll see you to the door. Perceive, an idea or situation, mentally. Now I see. Imagine. Conceive of. See in one's mind. I can't see him on horseback. Observe, check out, and look over carefully or inspect. I must see your passport before you can enter the country. Deem to be. I don't see the situation quite as negatively as you do. Deliberate or decide. Let's see, which movie should we see tonight? Go to see for a social visit. I went to see my friend Mary the other day. Go to see for professional or business reasons. You should see a lawyer. Match or meet. Observe as if with an eye. Perceive by sight or have the power to perceive by sight. You have to be a good observer to see all the details. Receive as a specified guest. The doctor will see you now. See and understand, have a good eye. The artist must first learn to see. The seat within a bishop's diocese where his cathedral is located. Give theatrical performances while traveling from town to town. Come to see in an official or professional capacity. The governor visited the prison. Go to certain places as for sightseeing. Did you ever visit Paris? Go to see a place, as for entertainment. Talk socially without exchanging too much information. Pay a brief visit. Impose something unpleasant. The principal visited his rage on the students. A temporary stay, e.g., as a guest. A meeting arranged by the visitor to see someone, such as a doctor or lawyer, for treatment or advice. He scheduled a visit to the dentist. Assail. He was visited with a terrible illness that killed him quickly. Stay with as a guest. Every summer, we visited our relatives in the country for a month. The act of going to see some person in a professional capacity. A visit to the dentist. The act of going to see some person or place or thing for a short time. He dropped by for a visit. The act of visiting in an official capacity, as for an inspection.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.